Let me ask you something. Have you been feeling more tired lately? Like your energy just isn't what it used to be? Or maybe your feet swell up by the end of the day, and you chalk it up to age or sitting too long. Now, what if I told you these little things might be your heart trying to send you a message? Here's the truth: heart failure doesn't usually start with a big event. It doesn't come crashing in like a heart attack. Instead, it whispers, it gives you clues. Small, nagging signs that something's not right. They thought they were just tired from a long day. We're not just talking about chest pain or shortness of breath. Some of these symptoms are subtle, but when you understand what they mean, they suddenly make a lot more sense. But the heart is a quiet organ, and when it starts to weaken, it speaks in a language that's easy to miss if you're not paying attention. And to many people over 60, ignore these signs until it's too late. I've seen it time and again. Smart, capable people who brushed off their symptoms. They thought it was just aging. But here's what's different: when your heart isn't pumping blood efficiently, your muscles and organs don't get the oxygen they need. And that leaves you feeling drained all the time. Because I'm going to walk you through each sign, explain what's really going on in your body, and show you what you can do about it. And it's not just a sleepy feeling, it's a deep, body-wide exhaustion that makes even small tasks feel like climbing a hill. If you find this video helpful, even just one part of it, please remember to hit the like button. It really helps us bring you more valuable content. A simple blood test and an echocardiogram can check your heart's function. And lifestyle changes like light exercise, better sleep, and cutting down on sodium can make a real difference even before medication is involved. Or walking across the room takes more effort than it used to. That's not just aging, that's your heart struggling to keep up. Sure, some tiredness comes with age, but it should be occasional, not constant. That causes blood to pool in the lower parts of your body, especially your legs and feet. And over time, that extra fluid starts to leak into the tissues, causing swelling, or what we call edema. If you're finding it harder and harder to get through the day, that's your cue to talk to your doctor. Maybe your feet just feel heavy, or your ankles look a little puffy at night. And ignoring it can lead to bigger problems, including skin ulcers or infections, but gradually it gets worse. Some people even find that they need to buy wider shoes or go up a size because the swelling is so bad. That causes a traffic jam of fluids, especially in your lower extremities. It's your body's way of saying, hey, something's not flowing right, so your body compensates by pulling blood away from less essential areas like your arms and legs and sending it to your brain and core. You might think, I just sat too long, or it's hot outside, and while those things can cause some swelling, they should go away quickly. Persistent swelling, especially if it gets worse over days or weeks, needs attention. Compression socks can also help, but only under medical guidance, especially if you have circulation problems. That's why you feel tired. Your muscles just aren't getting the fuel they need. And while you're at it, leave a comment below and let us know where you're watching from. That's why it's so important to look at the full picture. Don't self-diagnose, get checked. We love hearing from our viewers across the country and around the world. Or find that your shoes feel tight, even if you didn't walk much. That puffiness could be more than fluid, it could be a red flag from your heart. These are tips that could truly change the rest of your life. So today, I want to walk you through 7 early warning signs of heart failure that no one over 60 should ignore. These are signs that your heart may be struggling to pump blood the way it should. Because once you know what to look for, you'll be in a much better position to protect yourself. That's what this is all about: giving you tools, giving you knowledge, and giving you a path toward better health. And if you catch them early, you can do something about it, maybe even turn things around completely. And yes, I know it can be scary to talk about heart failure. But what's scarier is not talking about it. Now, these early signs can show up in surprising ways, so stay with me. But before we dive in, let me ask you to do just one thing. Alright, let's get into it. Early sign number 1, persistent fatigue that doesn't go away. Now, we all get tired. That's normal, especially if you've had a busy day or didn't sleep well the night before. This kind of fatigue doesn't go away with a nap. It doesn't get better over the weekend, it lingers. You might notice that getting dressed in the morning leaves you short of breath. Here's the simple science. When your heart weakens, it can't circulate enough blood to meet your body's needs. One myth I hear all the time is, "I'm just getting older." What you can do, if this sounds like you, don't panic. But do take action. Who should be cautious? If you have diabetes or chronic kidney disease, fatigue could also come from those conditions. Early sign number 2, swelling in your legs, ankles, or feet. Ever take off your socks at the end of the day and notice deep impressions in your skin? When your heart weakens, it doesn't pump blood as strongly. It might start small. The tricky part, this symptom is easy to blame on other things. What's happening inside? Your heart isn't strong enough to push blood efficiently. Common misconceptions. Many people think swollen legs are just part of aging. But that's not true. Healthy circulation doesn't cause daily swelling. What you can do, elevate your legs above heart level for 20 minutes a few times a day. That helps move the fluid back toward your core. Who should be careful? People with varicose veins, chronic venous insufficiency, or kidney problems should talk to a doctor before using compression garments or self-treating swelling. Early sign number 3, shortness of breath. Even without exercise, have you ever caught yourself gasping for air while doing something simple like walking to the kitchen or making your bed? Or maybe you've found yourself needing to pause and catch your breath halfway up a flight of stairs you used to handle with ease? That kind of breathlessness isn't normal, and it's often one of the clearest early signs that your heart is under strain. See, when your heart doesn't pump efficiently, fluid can build up in the lungs. That makes it harder for oxygen to get into your bloodstream and it makes breathing feel like work. What's scary is how easily this symptom is brushed off. It's like trying to breathe through a sponge. It just doesn't work the way it should. But heart failure doesn't always cause pain. In fact, many people never feel a single twinge of chest discomfort. So don't wait for that signal. With those, you'll likely wheeze or cough. But heart-related breathlessness often comes without much noise, just a deep, uncomfortable struggle to inhale. That's a common tool used to detect heart failure, and it's quick and inexpensive. But if it's getting worse, or showing up at new times like during rest, it's worth looking deeper. Combine that with an echocardiogram, and your doctor can get a clear picture of what's going on. People often say, "I'm just out of shape," or "I need to lose a little weight." But frequent or persistent palpitations, especially when paired with fatigue or lightheadedness, could mean your heart is trying to compensate for a bigger issue. But if you're noticing shortness of breath while lying flat in bed, or waking up in the middle of the night needing to sit up to breathe, that's a classic red flag. It's something doctors call orthopnea, and it's directly tied to heart function. The science behind it, a failing heart can't push blood through the lungs as effectively. So instead, fluid leaks into the lung tissue. And here is something else to keep in mind. Shortness of breath from heart failure is different than from asthma or a cold. Myths and misunderstandings. One big misconception is that if you're not having chest pain, your heart is fine. What to do about it? Pay attention to when the breathlessness happens. Is it worse when you lie down, better when you prop yourself up? Are you breathing heavier after very little activity? If you answered yes to any of those, it's time to have a conversation with your doctor. Also, don't be afraid to ask for a simple BNP blood test. A word of caution, if you already have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease (COPD) or asthma, you may be used to occasional shortness of breath. Early sign number 4, rapid or irregular heartbeat. Have you ever felt your heart flutter, race, or thump hard in your chest even when you're sitting still? An occasional skipped beat is usually harmless. When your heart is failing, it may beat faster in an attempt to move more blood. Or it may become irregular like an atrial fibrillation, a condition where the upper chambers of the heart quiver instead of beating properly. They say, "Oh, that's just my nerves," or "it happens when I drink coffee." But while caffeine and stress can trigger palpitations, they don't usually last long. If it's happening frequently or feels stronger than usual, it's time to take notice. And here's the thing, a lot of people feel these irregular rhythms and ignore them. The electrical signals that keep your heartbeat steady might be misfiring or struggling to keep pace. But that's not true. Some of the most serious heart rhythm issues like atrial fibrillation don't hurt at all. They just increase your risk of blood clots, stroke, or heart failure. What's really going on? Your heart muscle may be weakening and your body is trying to make up for it. One dangerous myth: many people believe that a fast heartbeat only matters if you feel pain. That kind of change can't be explained by a big dinner or salty snack. Others, when their waistband doesn't fit right even though they haven't changed their eating habits. That extra pressure causes fluid to leak into surrounding tissues and the body holds onto water and salt in a vicious cycle. The kidneys get confused and think they need to conserve fluid, which only makes it worse. Use the same scale in the same place and wear the same type of clothing. Write down your weight. If you notice a sudden jump, call your doctor. Don't wait. It is your body holding onto fluid and your kidneys struggling to filter it out properly because the heart isn't pumping strongly enough. But sometimes irregularities only show up occasionally, so your doctor may suggest wearing a Holter monitor for 24 hours to track your heartbeat throughout the day and night. How to catch it? A simple EKG at your doctor's office can show whether your heart rhythm is normal. Count the beats at your wrist or neck for 60 seconds, and it won't respond to dieting or calorie counting. That is why daily weight monitoring is so important if you're at risk of heart failure. If it is unusually fast, over 100 beats per minute while resting, or you notice skipped beats or irregular patterns, that's a signal worth sharing with your doctor. Helpful tip: you can even check your own pulse at home. But if it increases suddenly or you feel puffier than normal, especially around your belly or face, take it seriously. Always review your medication list with your provider if new symptoms arise. Caution for certain people: those taking thyroid medication or certain decongestants may experience irregular heartbeats as a side effect. Early sign number 5, sudden weight gain, especially overnight, and sure, that's true in many cases. But when the weight piles on quickly, especially in your midsection, legs, or hands, it could be your heart again. Now, I know what you might be thinking: isn't weight gain about food and exercise? Fluid retention is a classic sign of heart failure, and sometimes it shows up on the scale before you see it in the mirror. We're talking 2 to 3 pounds in a day or 5 pounds in a week. Some people notice it when their wedding ring gets tighter. What's happening internally? As the heart weakens, blood backs up in the veins. Don't be fooled. This kind of weight gain isn't about fat, it's about fluid. What you can do: weigh yourself every morning, before breakfast, and after using the restroom. Early sign number 6, loss of appetite or feeling nauseous after eating. Now, this one surprises a lot of folks. After all, what does your appetite have to do with your heart? But the truth is, a weakening heart can impact your digestive system more than you think. When your heart can't pump efficiently, less blood gets sent to your stomach and intestines. Or that you get full after just a few bites. Maybe you've even started skipping meals without realizing why. Some people say food just doesn't taste right anymore, or that they feel vaguely queasy during or after eating. That slows down digestion, leading to bloating, early fullness, nausea, and even a loss of interest in food altogether. You might notice that your usual meals suddenly feel too heavy. Don't assume it's just a side effect. Combined with other signs, it could point to something bigger. When that flow slows down, your digestion slows down too. Food sits in the stomach longer, causing that bloated, uncomfortable feeling. And the body, sensing something isn't right, turns down your hunger signals. And the brain is very sensitive to oxygen levels. Even a small decrease can affect memory, mood, balance, and focus. Maybe you've had moments of dizziness when standing up, or found yourself struggling to find the right words. That's not just your stomach acting up, it could be a signal from your heart. What's happening inside your gastrointestinal system, like every part of your body, depends on steady blood flow. Have you unintentionally lost weight or started skipping meals because you just don't feel hungry? Or while cooking, you forget which step comes next? It's subtle at first, but it can escalate quickly. In fact, that's what makes heart failure so tricky. It disguises itself as normal aging, stress, fatigue, or diet issues. And unless you're looking for these subtle shifts, you might miss your chance to catch it early. Do you feel overly full after eating even small portions? If so, your digestive symptoms might be heart-related. And sure, fatigue can cause some mental fuzziness. When do you feel lightheaded? After standing? After eating? Does it happen when walking? Is it tied to medications? But the first step is noticing that something has changed and telling someone about it. But if these symptoms keep showing up, especially alongside shortness of breath or swelling, your heart could be the root of the problem. They're important drugs, but they can sometimes push your pressure to low, especially if your heart is already struggling. That can lead to brain fog or even fainting. The misconception: many people blame this on getting older or think it as a side effect of medications. Medication, lifestyle changes, cardiac rehab, and more. The earlier you catch it, the more power you have to turn things around. And yes, some meds can affect appetite, but when it's a new symptom, especially paired with fatigue or swelling, it's time to look deeper. But when you see 2 or 3 of them together, that's when it's time to act. How to spot it? Ask yourself, are you eating less than usual without trying? Track how much you eat when you feel discomfort and whether you're getting enough fluids, freedom to keep doing the things you love. To travel, to garden, to play with your grandkids. To dance in the kitchen with your spouse. That's what we're protecting here, not just your heart, but your whole way of life. If things are consistently off, bring that log to your doctor. They'll be able to piece together whether it's your heart, your medications, or something else entirely. What you can do: keep a simple food journal for a week. Special caution: diabetics and people on medications that suppress appetite need to pay close attention to this symptom. Early sign number 7: confusion, lightheadedness, or trouble concentrating. Let's talk about the brain for a moment, because when the heart slows down, the brain often feels it first. Have you felt foggy lately, like it's harder to focus on conversations or remember little things? Many people write this off as senior moments, but frequent confusion, lightheadedness, or cognitive fuzziness can be linked to decreased blood flow to the brain, often caused by poor heart function. Here's what's going on: when your heart weakens, your blood pressure may drop. That means less oxygen-rich blood is reaching your brain. You might notice it while reading or watching TV. Your mind just drifts. What most people think: I must be tired, or maybe I didn't sleep well. What you can do: don't ignore this. Keep a mental log, or better yet, jot things down. A cardiologist may run a tilt table test, a Holter monitor, or even a brain scan if needed. Be extra alert if you take medications that lower blood pressure. That includes beta blockers, ACE inhibitors, or diuretics. So now you know the 7 early warning signs of a failing heart, most of which have nothing to do with chest pain. Let's quickly recap the signs we've covered so far. Persistent fatigue, swelling in the legs or ankles, shortness of breath, irregular heartbeat, sudden weight gain, loss of appetite, confusion, or lightheadedness. Any one of these might not seem like a big deal on its own. The good news is early detection changes everything. It means you have options. And this isn't about fear, it's about freedom. So what do you do now? If you've recognized any of these signs in yourself or in someone you love, don't panic. But don't wait either. Your heart is an incredible organ. It's resilient, it can heal, but it needs your help. The first step is having a real, honest conversation with your doctor. Bring a list of your symptoms. Write them down beforehand so you don't forget anything during the appointment. Your job is to notice when something doesn't feel right. That alone can be life-saving. Tell them what's been different, what's gotten harder. It just needs consistency. A few small changes, done regularly, can give your heart the break it's been begging for. What's changed in the last few weeks or months? You don't need to diagnose yourself, that's not your job. Now let's talk about what can help strengthen a weakening heart, especially in its early stages. We're not talking about invasive surgeries or expensive treatments. We're starting with simple, natural steps you can take today to support your heart and maybe even reverse early heart failure. Always check with your provider before starting a new exercise routine, especially if you've been diagnosed with heart issues. And when your heart is weak, salt makes things worse. It causes your body to retain water, which increases blood pressure and makes your heart work harder. And the truth is, your heart doesn't need perfection. Instead, try cutting back by 25% this week. Taste your food before salting it. Choose low-sodium versions of your usual groceries. Always check the back of the label, not just the front. Talk to your doctor before making big dietary shifts. Add more herbs like garlic, rosemary, or lemon for flavor. That's why keeping track of your daily weight is so important if you've noticed swelling or fatigue. If you gain more than 2 pounds in a day or 5 pounds in a week, that could mean fluid is building up again. Let's start with one of the most powerful tools you have. Number 1, movement, gentle but consistent. Sleeping at a slight incline can reduce pressure on your chest and make breathing easier. You don't need to join a gym or run a marathon. Good sleep lowers stress hormones like cortisol, which helps your heart rest and recover. If you're having trouble sleeping, talk to your provider before reaching for over-the-counter solutions. In fact, overexerting a failing heart can be dangerous. What your heart craves is light, steady movement. A 20-minute walk, gentle stretching, a short swim. Dancing to your favorite music in the living room. For many people with early-stage heart failure, the sweet spot is around 6 to 8 cups of fluid per day, but this can vary. Exercise helps the heart pump more efficiently. It lowers blood pressure, improves circulation, and strengthens the muscles that help your lungs pull in air. And perhaps most importantly, it gives you energy back. That crushing fatigue, movement is the medicine. This isn't about obsessing over numbers. It's about listening to your body and tracking patterns. A normal EF is around 55% or higher. If it drops below 40%, that's usually considered heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, HFrEF. Knowing your EF helps your doctor choose the right medications and treatments. Knowing your exact type helps guide the best care. Don't guess. Ask for a specific number of cups per day and stick to it. If it's dark, you're likely dehydrated. If you're barely urinating or feel bloated and puffy, you might be overdoing it. Over time, you'll build up your stamina and your confidence. If not, consider requesting one, especially if you've experienced any of the symptoms we discussed. Start slow, really slow. Even a few minutes a day is enough to make a difference. This is a common sign of fluid buildup in the lungs due to poor heart function. Warning: if you feel dizzy, extremely short of breath, or experience chest pressure while moving, stop immediately and call your doctor. 2. Reduce sodium gently and gradually. Salt is sneaky. It hides in canned soups, frozen meals, deli meats, even some breads. But you don't have to cut all salt overnight. That's not realistic, and it often leads to frustration. Even small changes make a difference. Dropping from 3,500 milligrams of sodium a day to 2,000 can significantly reduce fluid retention and blood pressure. Watch out for heart-healthy labels that still have lots of sodium. People who should be extra careful. If you're on diuretics, water pills, reducing sodium to drastically can lead to low sodium levels in your blood, which can cause confusion or weakness. 3. Monitor your weight and fluid retention. As we talked about earlier, sudden weight gain can be a warning sign. Get a reliable digital scale and weigh yourself every morning after using the bathroom before you eat. Don't just write it down. Keep a notebook in the bathroom or use a notes app on your phone. Helpful tip: set a reminder on your phone each morning so weighing yourself becomes part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth. 4. Sleep would support if you're finding it hard to breathe at night or waking up gasping for air. Your heart might be struggling when you lie flat. Try propping yourself up with pillows or invest in a wedge pillow to raise your upper body. Also, make sure your bedroom is cool and quiet. What to avoid? Sleeping pills. They can sometimes depress your breathing or make it harder to wake up if something feels wrong. #5. Stay hydrated, but not overhydrated. You've probably heard that staying hydrated is good for your health, and that's true. But with heart failure, the balance is delicate. Too little water can cause low blood pressure, fatigue, and dizziness. Too much can worsen swelling and fluid overload. Here is how to tell. If your urine is pale yellow and you're going to the bathroom regularly, you're probably in a good range. Special warning: if your doctor has told you to limit fluids, follow that guidance exactly. #6. Ask about ejection fraction. You might not hear this term often, but it's incredibly important. Ejection fraction (EF) is a measure of how well your heart pumps blood with each beat. Ask your doctor if you've ever had an echocardiogram and ultrasound of the heart. Why it matters: some people have heart failure with a normal F called HFpEF, preserved ejection fraction. It behaves differently and responds to different treatments. Let's take a deep breath together. You've just taken in a lot of information. 7 early signs, 6 daily strategies, and 1 powerful truth: you have more control over your heart health than you've ever been led to believe. Feel empowered because now you know what to look for. You know how to respond, and you know that heart failure, when caught early, can be slowed, managed, and in many cases improved. If you've recognized even a few of these warning signs in yourself, don't feel afraid. Sometimes they come as a whisper, like fatigue, or swelling, or a strange feeling in your chest you can't quite explain. But those whispers are worth listening to. They are not weakness, they are wisdom. The body is incredibly smart. It gives us signals. Sometimes they're quiet. Let's quickly recap what we've covered today because repetition helps it stick. The 7 early signs of a failing heart: constant, lingering fatigue, swelling in the legs, ankles, and feet, shortness of breath even at rest, irregular or rapid heartbeat, sudden weight gain from fluid retention, loss of appetite or feeling full too quickly, confusion, dizziness, or trouble concentrating. Not all of these need to be present. But when more than one shows up, especially over a short period of time, it's your cue to take action. And here's what that action looks like. When people who love you understand what you're going through, they can support you in ways that truly make a difference. It's about quality of life. It's about enjoying your mornings again. Having energy for that family barbecue, being present for the little things: your neighbor's stories, your grandkids' laughter, the smell of coffee brewing on a Sunday morning. Schedule a doctor's visit and share all of your symptoms, no matter how small they seem. One where knowledge and small daily choices matter more than ever. And every step you take, even if it is just swapping one salty snack for a piece of fruit, is a step toward a stronger, more resilient you. Thank you for showing up for your health. That's not always easy, but it's brave and it matters. Request tests like a BNP blood panel and an echocardiogram if appropriate. Because the sooner we recognize the signs, the sooner we can act. And that action, it's not just for you, it's for the people who love you. The ones who want you around, healthy and happy, for many more years to come. We have more videos coming every week. Simple, powerful, life-changing tips for feeling better, aging stronger, and living longer. Begin small, heart-friendly lifestyle changes. Walk daily, reduce sodium, sleep slightly elevated, weigh yourself each morning. We're with you every step of the way. Track your symptoms, appetite, energy, and mood. It all matters. And leave a comment below. Let us know where you're watching from, or share your own experience. You never know who your words might help. And maybe most importantly, don't go it alone. Talk to your family. Let someone know what you're feeling. Because managing heart failure, or even the risk of it, isn't just about medications or numbers on a chart. That's what you're protecting, not just your heart, but your freedom. Now, I want to take a moment to speak directly to those of you who may already have a heart failure diagnosis. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are in a new chapter. This isn't about fear, it's about hope. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to say thank you. If you found this video helpful, please remember to hit the like button. It really helps us bring you more valuable content. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Because you deserve that every single day. Take care of yourself, be kind to your heart, and remember you're not in this alone.